Cristiano Ronaldo is way funnier than you'd think, and Mbappe doesn't have that much clout in PSG. Check out what Neymar used to do to him. These are the funny moments in training. Let's kick off with the warm-up of the soccer god Ibrahimovic. The guy's a black belt in Taekwondo, but for his warm-up, he almost hit his trainer. If you think banter only happens in your weekend football games, check out what went down in PSG's practice after a player got nutmegged twice. Same thing happened to Alexis Sanchez in Arsenal's training. And you know what? It seems like this stuff goes down everywhere in the world. Look at this nutmeg extravaganza in Bayern Munich's practice. And of course, the guys couldn't resist some good-natured teasing. Oh, and speaking of that, you and your buddies aren't the only ones playing who can hit the crossbar first. And here's the twist. The loser had to do 10 push-ups. And this time, poor Mohamed Salah was the unlucky one. Now check out this squad's training session. They're some youth team, but what really matters is their coach. He's a genius. The guy taught the kids Neymar's signature move. Check this out. You know why De Bruyne wouldn't cut it as a goalie? Because the dude is just super unlucky. But the real highlight is Sterling and Sane literally rolling on the ground laughing after taking a ball to the face. Speaking of getting hit, look at what Juan Mata pulled off in United's practice. But Neymar doesn't disappoint. Check out what he did during training. Wondering why Messi is the GOAT? Watch the slick move he pulled on a journalist. Speaking of slick moves, even the coach can't resist taking advantage. But about Klopp, the guy's got to seize the moment when a player slips up, because apparently he's not too skilled with the ball at his feet. Not even stars like Griezmann can escape a humiliating nutmeg. Think Courtois would make a good outfield player? Look at the dribble he pulled off in practice. And what about Sergio Ramos's celebration here? Why not throw some basketball into the soccer practice mix? See what Cristiano Ronaldo did. His ex-Real Madrid teammate Gareth Bale loves golf so much that even during Madrid's training, the guy's thinking about grabbing a golf club.
Gay!
And speaking of basketball, Paris Saint-Germain's team didn't get the Jordan sponsorship for nothing. Check out Neymar showing off his skills on the courts. Or should I say, on the pitch? Well, you get it. Look at Son playing goalie. But the best part is his celebration when he saves the penalty. Messi, Neymar, and Suarez were incredible on the field, but they were also buddies off the field. And of course, there's always some banter between friends. Now check out this incredible touch Pogba showcased in the middle of an interview. And what about PSG's rehearsed play? They just forgot to coordinate the celebration. Can someone explain what happened here? Did they think they were playing American football? If you think Cristiano Ronaldo is cocky, you haven't seen him do this in practice. Speaking of him, for those who thought he was unhappy at Juventus, check out his banter with friends. Sure, this guy probably doesn't celebrate his goals like this in official games, but when he scores against a friend, well, the celebration gets a bit more special. There's only one way to stop Cristiano Ronaldo from scoring: remove the goalposts from his path. When it rains at a training center, it must be terrible to spend the day getting wet, right? Wrong. Look at what the Napoli players did. The same goes for when it's snowing. The Real Madrid players took the opportunity to have a snowball fight. If even Sané didn't understand what his teammate was doing, I'm not even going to try to explain it to you. Speaking of having a unique flair, let's put it that way. Check out Cristiano Ronaldo letting loose in the warm-up before practice. When Thomas Muller retires, the guy already has a guaranteed job. Look at how he's an excellent commentator. Talking about players with other professions, look at how Aubameyang has a knack for singing. Check out the shot they took at Mbappe. I think someone is getting fired from PSG. Want to learn how to walk in a super stylish way? Then check out Pogba's swagger in a national team training. But that's nothing compared to the unique way Daniel Alves goes down an escalator. And here's the challenge. Who's brave enough to do that in the middle of a shopping mall? Now, a true football star can play with anything. Check out Payet playing keepy-uppy with his gum. Then the guy manages to put the gum back in his mouth without using his hands. I don't know if I'm impressed or disgusted, but you have to admit the guy's got skills. Now look at what the Manchester City players do in their early morning training sessions. Is this the secret behind Pep Guardiola's teams? And speaking of City's training, watch the guys playing tag in the middle of practice. It's a joke, right? But the team that really takes training seriously is Wolves. Are they practicing football or MMA fighting? Now tell me in the comments, who is this player? And while you're at it, drop a like on the video. It's right there next to the comments. And now check out the angriest defender in the world. The guy can't see a stationary ball on the field without sliding in, and I have to admit it looks fun. Tell me, what's Daniel Alves doing here? Option A, he was challenged to eat the stadium grass. Option B, he's practicing his kiss the ground move. Or option C, lost a bet? Now look at Neymar's lesson on how to charm a girl over the phone.
Hello. Ha. Me liga, mozão.
I'm sure if you've ever tried practicing alone at home, you did exactly like this coach here. If players start imitating him, I think they'll start losing games. But if this coach had half the flair that this player has, things would be different. I know it looks like child's play, but it's actually a Milan training session. Now check out what happened in the Brazilian national team's practice. Marcelo just went crazy and started dancing like that. And then they still wonder why they didn't win the World Cup. You might think a big team like Bayern Munich takes their training seriously, especially during Pep Guardiola's time. Well, maybe not that seriously. Look at what the guys were doing in the middle of practice. Shield the kid's eyes and explain to me why. And speaking of nonsensical things, don't ask me to explain, but for some reason, Spider-Man showed up in the middle of a Leicester training session. Explains why they got relegated this past year. But one of the coolest things you'll see today is Neymar simply imitating Cristiano Ronaldo's celebration in a Brazilian national team practice. Tell me, what do you think Kimpembe was doing behind that door? I guess he had a sudden urge in the middle of training. Speaking of the defender, the guy seems to be quite the character. I don't know what he was doing here, but it's pretty funny. Diego Costa has always seemed like that fierce player on the field, but in training he's a bit more delicate than that. Now check out another bit of banter in Juventus's practice. Cristiano Ronaldo and Dybala claimed they scored 5 goals each in training. But according to their teammates, it didn't quite go down like that. Click on the video that's popping up on the screen to see Cristiano Ronaldo's most humble moments.